What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Gonna talk about, in my list, pound for pound, number one, Terrence Crawford is putting his WBO welterweight title on the line against Egis Kavaliauskas. Gonna break down this fight in this video. It's gonna be a very interesting fight, man. Egis Kavaliauskas is a technical version of Jeff Horn. He's a more technical Jeff Horn. That's how he fights when I watched him fight, man. Very strong, very rugged, very physical. Got a clubbing right hand. He throws a lot of hooks to the body. He's a hook machine. Throws a lot of hooks. Left hook, right hooks to the body. He's a very physical guy. Very strong for that weight class. I can kind of see him moving up to junior middleweight and moving up to 160 in the future, man, because he's a big, strong welterweight, kind of like what Jeff Horn has done since he's fought the likes of Manny Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford. He's moved up to 154, and I think he's even talked about moving up to 160 because he was a big welterweight, and that's the same way Kavaliauskas look. Now, when you look at his last fight, Kavaliauskas, man, I watched him. He fought Ray Robinson, man. Didn't look that impressive, man. That was supposed to be his coming out party type of fight. You know, he's supposed to look good and set up the showdown with Terrence Crawford, and he failed to deliver, man, as he put on a lackluster performance. You know, I thought he won the fight. It was very close. I thought he won the fight because I thought Ray Robinson did a lot of movement. You know, he fought Ray Robinson's style of fight, but Ray Robinson wasn't effective in that style. Even though he got him to fight his style, he did not land a lot of punches. He did a lot of moving, but didn't actually connect at a high rate. If you go to the punch stat in that fight, his connection ratio was very low, Ray Robinson. So that was the problem I thought in that fight. I thought Kavaliauskas landed the hardest shots in that fight. He landed a couple of shots that I thought stunned or even hurt Ray Robinson. And Ray Robinson was able to move out of harm's way. So I thought that fight showed me that Kavaliauskas had kind of hit his peak. He had kind of hit his ceiling. I don't think he was going to get no better than that because the other fights that he had looked better in, he was fighting guys that didn't move as much, guys that was not as skilled as Ray Robinson, and he flourished in those type of fights. But when you put him in there with a guy that's a little bit more versatile, can move around, he showed his limitations in the Ray Robinson fight, man. I think if you struggle with Ray Robinson, you really going to struggle against Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford is just as skilled, or probably, he's more skilled, more technical than Ray Robinson. And he's got a mean streak. He's an aggressive fighter. He can go from offense to defense, in a high level way. Probably the best fighter in boxing today as far as going from boxing to defense. I think Terrence Crawford is going to probably be in the southpaw stance in this fight because he's going to try to take away Kavaliauskas' right hand. So you can do it in the southpaw stance, as he can use the left hand as his power shot to kind of discourage Kavaliauskas from throwing the right hand. So I think you'll see Terrence Crawford in the southpaw stance a little bit more than the orthodox. But he's a switch hitter, man. He can go either way, man, depending on the floor of the fight, man. But I think Terrence Crawford's going to set it up with the jab, the straight left. I think he's going to go to the body. He knows Kavaliauskas is a good body puncher, but Terrence Crawford is a great body puncher. I think Terrence Crawford is going to try to use Kavaliauskas' strength as a deterrent. He's gonna say, "Oh yeah, you're a good body puncher, but let me go to your body and let you know what a great body puncher is," and discourage him and say, "Well, take Kavaliauskas' strength and make it a weakness compared to what Terrence Crawford brings to the table, man." I think that's gonna be what you're gonna see, and that's what I say about him switching to the southpaw stance. He's gonna do that to so he can because he got power in both hands. Terrence Crawford, he's gonna be able to shoot that straight left out, and that's gonna discourage Kavaliauskas from throwing the money punch, man. Kavaliauskas is going to have a hard time in this fight, man. He had a hard time in the Ray Robinson fight. He's going to have a real hard time against Terrence Crawford. I see Terrence Crawford getting a stoppage somewhere in the second half of the fight. I think he get a late stoppage somewhere around round 9. I say about around 9 he gets the stoppage, man. I think he breaks him down, goes to the body, use the jab, catches him with the straight left, kills him to the body, controls the fight from a distance. And then when Kavaliauskas his only chance is he's going to have to close the distance. If the fight is at a distance, man, it's Terrence Crawford all day because he's got too many tools in the toolbox. Left jab, out of the orthodox stance, straight right, and he can switch up, go to southpaw stance and go with the right jab and then a straight left. And I think that's what he's going to do in this fight here, man. I think he's going to overwhelm Kavaliauskas with his with his versatile offense, man. It's just going to be a hard thing for Kavaliauskas to get a hold of. He's not been in a ring with anybody of this caliber, anybody close to this caliber. Like I said, the closest one was his last fight against Ray Robinson, and a lot of people thought he lost that fight. So, that's my opinion on what's going to take place, man. This is the main event. A lot of people thinking the co-main event, Teofimo Lopez versus Richard Coleman, is actually the main event. That's actually a more competitive fight in a lot of people's eyes, man. A lot of people picking Coleman, a lot of people picking Lopez. So that's a 50-50 fight in a lot of people's eyes. It's not in my eyes. I don't think it's a 50-50 fight. And I'm going to be doing a video on that fight later on. I'll do a video on that fight. Maybe later on the day, or maybe tomorrow I'll do a breakdown of that fight, man. But as far as this fight goes, look for Terrence Crawford to take care of business and beat a rugged, tough, physical, technical fighter who's had an extreme amateur background experience, a guy that's flourished in the background, in the amateur level of boxing, coming out of his country, Russia. He's very impressive amateur pedigree. So this guy is very experienced, and the guys know his way around the ring, man. But his problem is he's just lacking in all the key departments in this fight, man. As far as hand speed, you got to give that to Terrence Crawford. Versatility, you got to get at the Terrence Crawford. And even as physical and as strong as Kavaliauskas is, I think Terrence Crawford going to make it a point to show that he's just as strong, if not stronger than Kavaliauskas. He did the same thing with Jeff Horn. Everybody like, well, Jeff Horn is a big welterweight, man. That size going to give Terrence Crawford a problem. Terrence Crawford quickly nullified his strength and size of his size advantage as he was throwing Jeff Horn around in the ring in that fight. Throwing him around, manhandling him, pushing him up against the ropes, just showed Jeff Horn that he was a stronger fighter, actually, in that fight, not Jeff Horn. And that was the mental warfare that he got the advantage of on Jeff Horn in that fight. And I think he's going to do the same thing against Kavaliauskas. Kavaliauskas tried to get physical. I think Terrence Crawford is going to manhandle him, try to throw him, meet strength with strength as far as a manhandling him. If he manhandles him like he do Jeff Horn, man, it's gonna be, that's gonna be a mental thing that's gonna weigh on Kavaliauskas. If he get, because that's his calling card, being strong, tough, rugged, and physical, and he's able to overwhelm a lot of his opponents just off of that basis. Now, if he can't do that with Terrence Crawford, which I think could happen because he did it with Jeff Horn, showed that he was the stronger fighter actually in that fight. If he tries to, he's going to try to get rugged with Terrence Crawford, and that's going to be a thing to watch out for. If he can kind of manhandle Terrence Crawford, bully him up against the ropes and try to manhandle him and try to impose his physicality on him, then I think it'll be a competitive fight. I think he'll be able to last a little longer. I can see the fight maybe going a little further than I predicted it was going to go as a ninth round stoppage. It can go for, I think Jose Benavidez, with his size and overall physicality, being a big welterweight, was able to last with Terrence Crawford all the way to the 12th round before he was ultimately knocked out. And I can see the same thing with Kavaliauskas if he can get rugged and physical with Terrence Crawford and kind of show that he's a bigger, stronger, more physical fighter in the ring. And that remains to be seen because, again, Terrence Crawford is a master that's taking your strength that you think going into the fight and making it actually a weakness. And that's what he did with Jeff Horn. And that's what he did, and that's what he's going to attempt to do with Kavaliauskas, with the physicality and taking away Kavaliauskas' strongest asset, and that's his right hand. Out the southpaw stance, as he's going to try to shoot out his straight left that he has with power to kind of nullify Kavaliauskas' right hand. So that's my predictions, man. Terrence Crawford's stoppage in the 9th round over Egis Kavaliauskas. And hopefully after this fight, we get Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter. Hopefully that's what they'll ask him after the fight in the post-fight interview. They'll ask him, say, hey, man, let's look to make you and Sean Porter. Sean Porter don't have an opponent schedule. You just got through taking care of your mandatory. With Errol Spencer's out right now due to the car wreck. You two guys are the two best active. You guys are the 2 best active welterweights going right now. Y'all need to make it happen, man. There's obviously shouldn't be any kind of hurdles or any kind of deterrents, because we got a fight already coming up in February between Tyson Fury, who's with ESPN, and Deontay Wilder, who's with the PBC. They're making the fight happen on ESPN Fox pay-per-view. Maybe we can do the same thing in this case. ESPN Fox pay-per-view, or maybe Sean Paul can go over there to fight you just on ESPN pay-per-view. Either way, it's a precedent already been set that these 2 companies can work together to make big fights and significant fights. So we'll see what happens, man. That's my opinion on the video, man. And if you agree with this, my opinion, leave your comments in the comment section. If you disagree, you think Kavaliauskas, the Green Machine, I said the Mean Machine, is going to produce a upset, maybe the upset of 2019, leave your comments in the comment section. And we'll see what happens, man, Saturday night at Madison Square Garden in the Big Apple, New York, New York. See what's going down. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.